Our selection today is On Time L. The 5,000 hungry souls and fed on the banks of the river with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Oh, what a miracle that he performed for the multitude. Oh, what he did way back then, he'll do the same for me and you.
Yes, he is. Oh, he's an on-time God. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He may not come when you want him, oh, but he'll be there right on time. He's an on-time God. Oh, yes, he is. Well, you
1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. But the end of all things is at hand. Be you therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent love among yourselves, for love shall cover the multitude of sins. Use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man has received the gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Elohim. If any man speak, let him speak as the oracles of Elohim. If any man minister, let him do it as of the ability which Elohim gives, that Elohim in all things may be glorified through Yahshua the Mashiach, to whom be praise and dominion forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians chapter 4, verses 29 through chapter 5 and verse 4. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed until the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you. Be you therefore followers of Elohim, as dear children, and walk in love, as the Mashiach also have loved us, and has given himself for us an offering and sacrifice to Elohim for a sweet-smelling savor. But fornication, and all uncleanness, and covetousness, let it not be once named among you, as becomes saints. Neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather given of thanks. Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verses 1 and 2. Keep your foot when you go to the house of Elohim, and be more ready to hear, than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they consider not that they do evil. Be not rash with your mouth, and let not your heart be hasty to utter anything before Elohim. For Elohim is in heaven, and you upon earth, therefore let your words be few. Exodus chapter 23, verses 20 and 21. Behold, I send an angel before you, to keep you in the way, and to bring you into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. Revelations chapter 3, verses 20 through 22. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcomes will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I have also overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the churches.
All right, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Which is peace on Yahweh's holy Sabbath day. Welcome to another holy convocation that Yahweh has enjoined unto us here in Stone Mountain, Georgia. As we read over and over in the oracles, it explains how Yahweh has set an angel to lead us in the way, and we have to make sure that we do not provoke that angel. A lot of times we think that we're dealing directly with Yahweh, and that's not the way things are set up. There are various levels. There are different levels with angels. All the angels don't have the same glory. They don't have the same power. So believing that we can just deal with this how we want to deal with this is going to cause us some serious problems when it comes down to our salvation. As it is written, you shall not provoke him, for my name is in him, and he will not pardon your transgression. One of the things that the children of Israel did constantly was murmur against the leadership that was there. They had a problem with the things that they saw Moshe doing, not understanding that Yahweh is directing those things, not Moshe. That constant murmuring was just things that came out of Israel's mouth. And we have a tendency to believe a lot of times that words are just words and they're not living entities, and it doesn't really matter what we say. But those things are your word. As it is written, the word is the spirit. And whatever the word that we allow to proceed out of our mouth it has a spirit attached to it. When we were young, we used to do this thing where we would say something that was either bad or hurting to someone else, and we would say, I take that back. The concept was a good concept. The problem is you can't just take something back after it flows out of your mouth. You can't cause that person to unhear it. So then it comes to a point where there has to be some form of repentance for the things that have proceeded out of our mouths. It's not just good enough to say, well, you know what? I ain't going to do that no more. But you haven't made right that thing that has proceeded out of our mouths. We have to remember that it was the murmuring, constant complaining against what Yahweh was doing. And understand, the problem that Israel was having is they did not understand what Yahweh was doing. We had it in our own understanding that we are coming out of Egypt. We have been in captivity, so we should be receiving right now. And Yahweh is preparing us to be able to receive in a way that we will keep what is given unto us. Doesn't do you any good for him to give you something and then for you to mess it up. A lot of us understand some things in our older age that we didn't understand when we were younger. A few of us have, if you go back, you remember some childhood friends who were given everything. And no matter how many things they were given, they always tore it up. They messed it up. They had absolutely no respect for any of those things that came to them. And their parents would just give them another one and give them another one because they had money. It never helped the development of that individual. It didn't help them until they hit rock bottom, until they got to the point of buying their own stuff. Then they learned how to take care of something. That's what Yahweh was trying to do with us. But all we saw is that we were not getting what we wanted when we wanted. And then that means it's time for us to complain. It's time for us to find a new direction. It's time for us to do all of those things. Even go back into the captivity that we had just been laid out of. Let's begin today's sermon in Ezekiel chapter 8. Today's sermon is entitled, Out of the Abundance of the Heart. Now, just like we know that words are spirit, so is body language. You can have your body language in a way that a person is on their way to shalom you, look at your body language, and keep going. Y'all know the way we look when we see somebody on the street and it look like they finna ask us for something, and we put that ugly look on so they won't walk up. And we tense all up. Where's me for nothing? That look says everything. We didn't have to actually say it out of our mouth. Your body language said that you were not a welcoming individual. You didn't want nobody to run up to you. You didn't want nobody to speak to you. You didn't want nobody to ask you for no money. Your body language said all that. And don't think we're going to be held innocent for doing that. Because see, then we'll go up and say, well, you know, such and such didn't speak to me. Were you aware of the body language that you presented to those individuals? See, we can understand in the simplest form some things. A lot of us got animals. Man, when that dog wagging his tail, he giving you an invitation. Come on in, I'm going to let you rub my head. There's something in you I like. When them hairs start standing up on the back of his neck, and he show you the middle canine right there, and he go, hey, he's not welcoming to you. And people say, oh, don't worry about it. My dog, he don't bite. Wait a minute. See, we got two problems here. We got two problems. First of all, your dog got teeth. All right? So that's problem number one. The other problem is he growleth. Okay? There's absolutely nothing inviting about that. So if you're going to snarl and growl, how can you then blame somebody for not walking up on you? Those are things that are proceeding out of our heart. I don't care that at that point it hasn't come out of your mouth. It's unspoken, but it's definitely felt. That dog didn't say nothing to us, but we understood when it growled that it had a problem. I don't know you like that. I don't want you walking up on me. Now you can keep walking, and you're going to feel these canines. We do the same thing. Ezekiel chapter 8, and let's start that at verse 1.
And it came to pass in the 6th year, in the 6th month, on the 5th day of the month, as I sat in mine house, and the elders of Yehudah sat before me, that the hand of the Adonai Yah fell there upon me. Then I beheld, and lo, a likeness as the appearance of fire, from the appearance of his loins even downward, fire, and from his loins even upward, as the appearance of brightness, as the color of amber. And he put forth the form of an hand, and took me by a lock of mine head. And the Spirit lifted me up between the earth and the heaven, and brought me in the visions of Elohim to Jerusalem, to the door of the inner gate that looketh toward the north, where was the seat of the image of jealousy, which provokes to jealousy. And behold, the glory of the Elohim of Israel was there, according to the vision that I saw in the plain. It was an image of jealousy. So let's say you married, but your wife got a 10-foot picture of her ex-boyfriend in the hall. Oh, we feel that, don't we? Oh, the hell she did. Oh, we can feel that, though. Right. Read, bro. Verse 5. Then said he unto me, Son of man, lift up your eyes now the way toward the north. So I lifted up mine eyes the way toward the north. And behold, northward at the gate of the altar this image of jealousy in the entry. He said furthermore unto me, Son of man, seeth you what they do?
Wait a minute now. But we'll come and get baptized in the name of Yahshua, but still have all the images of the Christian church just stamped all over our house. Images of jealousy all over. Have no problem. And every time you ask somebody, they got a reason for why it's okay for them to have that image of jealousy. Go ahead.
Even the great abominations that the house of Israel commits here, that I should go far off from my sanctuary. But turn you yet again, and you shall see greater abominations.
You shall see greater abominations, because once you get off into, as it is written, it says a little leaven leavens the whole lump. So once you sprinkle just a little bit of false reasoning in there, it's going to start to overlap into all the other good parts as well. So it's not just going to stay there. It's going to keep going. So the leaven don't just stay in that one spot. You put leaven in that one spot and it stay right there. No. As you get ready to make that bread and you get ready to stir all of that leaven going everywhere. It don't just stay there. So that little bit of leaven that you let in there, it's all throughout that. So you can't just say, I put a little bit of leaven in this bread. I'm not gonna bite that part. I'm gonna bite this part over here. See, I'm gonna start from the south of this bread, and I'm gonna eat my way up, but I'm gonna stop before I get to the leaven part. How you know where it's at? Go ahead.
And he brought me to the door of the court, and when I looked, behold, a hole in the wall. Then said he unto me, Son of man, dig now in the wall. And when I had digged in the wall, behold, a door. And he said unto me, Go in, and behold the wicked abominations that they do here. So I went in and saw, and behold, every form of creeping things, and abominable beast, and all the idols of the house of Israel, portrayed upon the wall round about.
Portrayed upon the wall round about. You know, people who claim to be servants of Israel should be ashamed when they invite you to their dwelling place and they got images of jealousy hanging on the wall. But they ain't ashamed. It's like, didn't you know I was coming? You invited me. So why I see Catman doing dog father on your wall? Why I got Egyptian gods in here? We were delivered out of Egypt. How you got Egyptian gods in there? And you knew I was coming. You invited me. I didn't pop up at your house. I can understand if I popped up and you go, oh my good, let me hide my Egyptian gods. That's not what happened. People have absolutely no shame whatsoever. Go ahead.
And there stood before them 70 men of the ancients of the house of Israel.
Right. This is what gives the okay for the wrongdoing. Once we get some elders doing wrongdoing, we think we all right. You know, we are more loyal to our football team than we are to our Elohim. You find a Cowboys fan and you walk in there with a Falcon shirt. Oh, no, you didn't. I know you, did you walk in there with that on? Or better yet, be a Saints fan and walk in with an Atlanta shirt. Oh, it's going down. Oh, it's going down. We're more loyal to our football team than we are to our Elohim. We wouldn't dare hang a Falcons jersey next to a Saints jersey. Oh, the abomination. But we hang up Yahweh's commandments and put our old Egyptian Pharaoh picture right by each other. What? Go ahead.
You know, the thing about it is not considering the problem you cause in other people's household because they done visit your house, then they go back to their house. Now people want to do what they saw in your house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Making major problems. You know, you done had to wrestle with your family to get the Christmas tree out. Then your wife come over there and, wait a minute. Is that a... Oh, no, hell it ain't. I'll tell you what, when we get back, I'm putting my Christmas tree back up. See now you got a problem. See? So now brother done went and visited. Now he got problems in his house. So tell me, why is it all right for them to have that up there? See, now your woman looking at you like you the hypocrite. Wait a minute, what? Now you got to explain somebody else's actions. That wasn't even your actions. That's how one a little bit of leaven follows. Now that leaven done went out of one house and went into another one. Now this person got to sit there and argue in their house to reestablish order. Go ahead.
And in the midst of them stood Yazaniah the son of Shaphan, with every man his censer in his hand, and a thick cloud of incense went up. Then said he unto me, Son of man, have you seen what the ancients of the house of Israel do in the dark?
Have you seen what these elders do? These who are supposed to know better. Have you seen what they do? Go ahead.
Every man in the chamber of his imagery. For they say, Yahweh sees us not. Yahweh has forsaken the earth.
And people don't say this out of their mouth. They say this with their doings. Because if you believe that Yahweh saw you, you would deal differently. Go ahead.
He said also unto me, Turn you yet again, and you shall see greater abominations that they do.
Right. You notice it never stopped. Oh, no, that ain't it. Wait, there's more. Go ahead.
Then he brought me to the door of the gate of Yahweh's house, which was toward the north. And, behold, there sat women weeping for Tammuz.
See, this is what we were taught to do in the Christian church, and we didn't know it. That this is one of those things where they're weeping for Tammuz. When we go in the church on Sunday morning, whoever cried the best loved the best. So we had to practice crime. That was our thing because it was all about emotional sensationalism. How emotional can you be? Go ahead.
Then said he unto me, Have you seen this, O son of man? Turn you yet again, and you shall see greater abominations than these. And he brought me into the inner court of Yahweh's house. And, behold, at the door of the temple of Yahweh, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men.
Wait a minute. Now you're going deeper in, and that leaven goes from level to level to level. So because it was allowed at one point, it then keeps going even in the holier places, the places where people should know the most, they are doing the worst. Go ahead.
With their backs toward the temple of Yahweh, and their faces toward the east, and they worship the sun toward the east.
Which is what Sunday morning worship is about. Worshiping the sun. There's a reason why when the Pope came to Yankee Stadium, he was standing in a fireball, a sunburst. He has a scepter, his little stick that is a ball of fire. It's the sun. They are openly worshiping the sun, S-U-N. We thought they was worshiping the sun, S-O-N. So we worshiping the wrong sun. And they do that. But I'm sure the devil don't care what he have to do to trick you. Go ahead.
Then he said unto me, Have you seen this, O son of man? Is it a light thing to the house of Yehudah that they commit the abominations which they commit here? For they have filled the land with violence, and have returned to provoke me to anger.
They have filled the land with violence. Why? Because that seemed like it was accepted amongst the ancients. Since it seemed to be okay with these men, it must be okay for everybody else. So now all of these things have now started in the temple, but now they don't went all out into other people's homes, all out in the streets of Israel. So everything that we allow, we cause problems somewhere else. Go ahead.
And lo, they put the branch to their nose. Therefore will I also deal in fury. Mine eyes shall not spare, neither will I have pity. And though they cry in mine ears with a loud voice, yet will I not hear them.
Yet will I not hear them. We can get ourselves to a point where Yahweh just decides that he will not hear our prayers. We can pray and pray and pray, but we have gotten to that point where he has decided that he is going to turn his hearing off. This is why it helps to have other individuals who are around us as a family, who are then able to pray for us when we get to the point that Yahweh has already switched that hearing off. Oh no, I ain't hearing nothing Esaac got to say. He should not have been doing it. I gave him a chance. He didn't do it. Click. Turn that off. This is where it helps. If you got a brother praying for you, who you praying for? All right, I might hear you. It ain't mine at all if I done got myself off into something. But who gonna pray for you if when they get up to try to ask to see what's going on and you give them, never mind. I hope y'all work it out. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, why wouldn't he turn his hearing off? Because 9 times out of 10, when Yahweh's servant is talking to you about the situation, you've turned your hearing off.
Right.
Because you're so busy defending your situation or your position that you're not hearing or open to what's being said and say, you know what, let me examine that. You just jumped to your own conclusion and gone. Now you don't turn your hearing off.
It happens all the time. It doesn't just happen about things like that. It happens about normal things. Here it is. Somebody have a problem on their car, and you work on cars. You get ready to try to tell them about the car, and they snapping at you. They ain't never fixed the car a day in their life. But they gonna tell you, you don't know nothing about no damn car. What you knew how to do was stick the key in it and turn the key. And you knew when the gas ran out to put more gas in it. That's all you knew. Now here it is, somebody that this is what they do talking to you, and you yakking it back at them. It happen all the time. And you know our problem? Because people don't see certain things. They don't know you know how to do certain things. So they have already decided you ain't worthy to listen to on this thing. They don't know. I did this years ago. I know what I'm talking about. But because they ain't seen you do it, they think you must not know how to do it. Let's go to Luke chapter 10. That's that respect the person. I listen to this person, but I ain't gonna listen to that person over there. And y'all know how that goes worse. What did Yahshua say? A prophet is not without honor, save in his own house among his own people. The first indignation you're gonna get is normally from the closest ones to you. I ain't gonna listen to you. Didn't you used to sell drugs at the Texaco? Oh, now all of a sudden you holy. Were those holy bags of crack that you were selling? Did they have that anointing on them? Right. Get the hell out of here. Ain't nobody listening to you. Luke chapter 10, and let's start that at verse 1.
After these things, the Adonai appointed other 70 also, and sent them 2 and 2 before his face into every city and place, whither he himself would come. Therefore said he unto them, the harvest truly is great, but the laborers are few. Pray you therefore the Adonai of the harvest, that he would send forth laborers into his harvest. Go your ways. Behold, I send you forth as lambs among wolves.
I send you forth as lambs among wolves. But he himself was coming in the form of a lamb himself. But when he come back, he's not coming back as a lamb. And those that follow him won't be in the position of lambs either. See, a lamb has to just walk to the slaughter and be slayed. A lion, he ain't walking nowhere he don't want to go. If he walked over there, that way he wanted to go. You ain't gonna make him do nothing. Matter of fact, if you decide you gonna pee in the wrong place, we fighting. Hey, bro, did you see that was my bush? Didn't you see that was my bush? Did you decide you were just gonna pee in my bush? It's on, brother. It's on. Done deal. That's all it takes. We had it. So Yahshua coming to take care of that business as a lion. He already did the lamb thing. Go ahead.
Carry neither purse, nor scrip, nor shoes, and salute no man by the way. And into whatsoever house you enter, first say, Shalom to this house. And if the son of Shalom be there, your shalom shall rest upon it. If not, it shall turn to you again.
Right. So this is what people need to understand. A lot of times you will be invited to somebody's house so they can steal your peace. See, we thought that somebody was doing us a favor. What they're doing is taking your peace and putting your peace upon their house. Go ahead.
And in the same house remain, eating and drinking such things as they give. For the laborer is worthy of his hire. Go not from house to house. And into whatsoever city you enter, and they receive you, eat such things are set before you. And heal the sick that are therein, and say unto them, the kingdom of Elohim is come near unto you. But into whatsoever city you enter, and they receive you not, go your ways, out into the streets of the same, and say, even the very dust of your city, which cleaves on us, we do wipe off against you. Notwithstanding, be you sure of this, that the kingdom of Elohim is come near unto you. But I say unto you, that it shall be more tolerable in that day for Sodom than for that city. Woe unto you, Chorazin! Woe unto you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty works had been done in Tyre and Sidon, which have been done in you, they had a great while ago repented, sitting in sackcloth and ashes.
Right. So the more we have been given, the more responsibility we have. The greater the honor we possess, the greater the judgment is going to be against us. Yahweh don't punish the toddler and the 30-year-old at the same level. Go ahead.
But it shall be more tolerable for Tyre and Zidon at the judgment than for you. And you, Capernaum, which art exalted to heaven, shall be thrust down to hell. He that hears you hears me, and he that despises you despise me, and he that despised me despise him that sent me.
See, it all goes in order. Somebody think they have a problem with you as you speak the word of Yahweh your Elohim. They have a problem with you, they have a problem with Yahshua, and they have a problem with Yahweh. But all they see is you. They say, oh, this is just the way you do things. I don't like the way you do things. It's easier to pick a fight with the person that's in front of them. Because, see, we ain't bold enough to go and climb up a mountain and say, come on, Yahweh, let's duke it out. Come on with your God's self. No, we ain't bold enough to do it like that. So we just attack the individuals that we see. And that means when you get ready to go speak the word to somebody, they're going to attack you. They know they can't fight with Yahweh head to head. Go ahead.
And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Adonai, even the devils are subject unto us through your name. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven.
And you see what things we are impressed with. The 70 returned again with joy, saying, even the devils are subject unto us through your name. Do you see the power we got? Did you see that? You see when I told that demon to come out, he came right out of there. Who did that? Me. That's who. Right. Go ahead.
Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions, and over all the power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not.
In this rejoice not. You happy about the wrong thing. Go ahead.
That the spirits are subject unto you, but rather rejoice, because your names are written in heaven.
Right. If you're not happy about the right thing, what happened is you mess that up and get your name blotted out. Because you happy about the wrong thing. You happy about the power that the position brought you. Instead of being happy that your names were written in the book. So then when you happy about the wrong things, you show attention to the wrong things. And as you start paying attention to the wrong things, letter by letter, your name coming out that book. Go ahead. That was it. Let's go to John chapter 6. You know, get your attention when you realize somebody happy about the wrong thing. You know, you go and get your kid this big old expensive gift, and you all happy. You happy for them, you know. And you get them the gift, and they look like they happy. They move the gift out the way and play in the box that it came in. Boy, don't you feel like a dummy. You done spent $150 for a cardboard box. They are absolutely loving this box. Daddy, take me in the box outside. But there's a $150 gift inside the box. Move that. Daddy, this toy is getting in the way of the box. What the hell just happened here? They happy about the box. See? Go ahead, bro.
Yohanan chapter 6 and verse 22. The day following, when the people which stood on the other side of the sea saw that there was none other boat there, save that one whereinto his disciples were entered, and that Yahshua went not with his disciples into the boat, but that his disciples were gone away alone. Howbeit there came other boats from Tiberias near unto the place where they did eat bread. After that the Adonai had given thanks. When the people therefore saw that Yahshua was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum, seeking for Yahshua. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when cameth you hither? Yahshua answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, you seek me, not because you saw the miracles, but because you did eat of the loaves and were filled.
Right. There's some that just come to eat. Natural food. Spiritual food all over the place. They pass that up. They just come to eat. In now seconds, they'll run over 2 old ladies and 4 kids. Read, bro.
Labor not for the meat which perishes, but for that meat which endures unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him has Elohim the Father sealed. Then said they unto him, What shall we do, that we might work the works of Elohim? Yahshua answered and said unto them, This is the work of Elohim, that you believe on him whom he had sent.
See, belief is a mighty work. There's some people, we have people that are faithful to this congregation who we've never seen because they're in other states. The first part of your work, what shall we do that we might work the works of Elohim? Yahshua answered and said unto him, This is the work of Elohim, that you believe on him whom he hath sent. If your belief is right, you already working. So then the devil got to add some things into your belief. Come here, let me say something to you. No. I just want to present something to you. I mean, you won't surely die. Watch this. I always knew that was evil. Watch this. Remember Ada Wrong used to say that all the time? Watch this. Watch this. Right. That's what we do to people. Hey, I sent you a link. Watch this. Go ahead, bro.
They said therefore unto him, What sign showeth you then, that we may see and believe you? What does you work? Our fathers did eat manna in the desert. As it is written, he gave them bread from heaven to eat. And Yahshua said unto them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, Moshe gave you not that bread from heaven, but my Father gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of Elohim is he which comes down from heaven and gives life unto the world. Then said they unto him, Adonai, evermore give us this bread. And Yahshua said unto them, I am the bread of life. He that comes to me shall never hunger, and he that believes on me shall never thirst. But I said unto you, that you also have seen me, and believe not. All that the Father gives me shall come to me. And him that comes to me, I will in no wise cast out.
Right. He gonna cast out himself. I'm not gonna have to cast him out. He's going to cast out himself by his actions. All the ones that were given to me, they're gonna be here when this walk is done. Go ahead.
For I came down from heaven, not to do mine own will, but the will of him that sent me. And this is the Father's will which has sent me, that of all which he has given me I should lose nothing, but should raise it up again at the last day. And this is the will of him that sent me, that everyone which sees the Son and believes on him may have everlasting life, and I'll raise him up at the last day.
Right. When you believe, it causes you to set some of your personal stuff aside. See, that's why it's the greatest part of the work. Because when you believe, you'll go through some things. Man, we don't get paid every day we go to work. But you believe you're going to get a check. So you showed up the next day. They didn't pay you that day either. But you believe you're going to get a check. So you showed up the next day. They didn't pay you that day either. But you believe that you're going to get a check. So you showed up the next day. You did that for 2 weeks. Boom. Here come your check. We do something for half a second. If we don't receive it, we're done. But we'll give them heathens 2 weeks and put another 2 weeks in the hole. We borrow money from other people when we first get a job. We ain't got enough money to get gas or one of them 99-cent hot dogs at Quick Trip. But we believe that them people gonna pay us. So now we got a job and we still borrowing money. Excuse me. Look, I just got this job, but I be hungry. So can I hold some money from you? I promise you, I'm gonna pay you. Now you don't have anything to pay them back with at this point, but because you believe that these people gonna pay you after you put your 2 in a hole. You believe they're going to pay you. So now, because you believe they are going to pay you, you are now receiving a loan from somebody else, and you have no collateral. Your collateral is your belief. Round that one around for a little while. Go ahead, bro.
The Yehudis then murmured at him, because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, is not this Yahshua the son of Yosef, whose father and mother we know? How is it then that he says, I came down from heaven? Yahshua therefore answered and said unto them, murmur not among yourselves. No man can come to me, except the Father which has sent me draw him.
Right. If the Father does not draw him, you can talk all day. They're not going to hear you. You can try to explain 50 different scenarios. They're not going to hear you. Go ahead.
And I'll raise him up at the last day. It is written in the prophets.
He keeps saying, I'm going to raise him up at the last day. But everything that we heard, we went to heaven zip tang. As soon as the person died, we was at the funeral, but they was already in heaven. Now this the New Testament now. So somebody lying. He keeps saying, if he do what he's supposed to do, I'm going to raise him up on the last day. Sunday morning said, he's in heaven looking down on us. Somebody lying. Somebody lying. And see, when we're familiar with people, we don't want to believe that that's the liar. Because, we spend a lot of time with them. We're real cool with them. We have done a lot of great things with them. Are we able to pick out the liar? Just because the liar is articulate? Just because the liar is emotionally charged when they tell you to lie? What if the liar cry when they lie? Makes it sound real believable then, don't it? He said, I'm going to raise him up at the last day. You know how many funerals I've had to go to and just sit there and hold my peace? Why them people say, oh, he in heaven. Oh, he looking down on us. There you go right there. He right there in that box. My book say something totally different than what that pastor's saying. You think I got a different book than he got? I got the same book he got. He read the same thing I read. The difference is they just gave him $15,000. So he finna lie through his teeth about this individual he ain't never met. He was a great man. What's his name again? Oh, yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy was great. Where he worked again? Okay, yeah, FedEx. Oh, he delivered those packages like nobody else. Right. The lies $15,000 make you tell. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 45. It is written in the prophets, and they shall be all taught of Elohim. Every man, therefore, that has heard and has learned of the Father comes on to me. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is of Elohim, he hath seen the Father. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believes on me has everlasting life.
He that believes on me, when you believe, is certain things that you are going to do. When you believe, is certain things that you're not going to do. That doesn't mean that we are perfect, that we are going to walk without sin, but it does mean that we are going to set some of our personal, what I think, feel, and believe aside to let the belief direct us. The belief is your collateral. Go ahead, bro.
I am that bread of life. Your fathers did eat manna in the wilderness and are dead. This is the bread which comes down from heaven, that a man may eat thereof and not die. I am the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give him is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. The Yehudis therefore strove among themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat?
See, when you believe, you sit still long enough and wait for your understanding. See, non-believers, every moment of the day, they're questioning, and if they don't get their answer at 4:26 p.m., and it was said at 4:23, oh, I'm out. I can't do this right here. That right there don't make no sense. But a believer sits still. Believer don't understand everything every moment of the day. Yahweh's wisdom is infinite. You ain't gonna understand everything Yahweh doing. Your little old bitty little pea brain. You ain't gonna understand everything he doing. You understand what he allows you to understand. And the faster you get that through your head, the better off you gonna be. Go ahead, bro.
Then Yahshua said unto them, verily, verily, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Whoso eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life.
Man, he going in. Understand, our people have clean and unclean laws. You can't even eat an animal that died of itself. And he's sitting there talking to them about eating his flesh and drinking his blood. It says the life is in the blood. In the animal, it says you got to pour the blood out. Do you understand how deeply he is ticking some of these people off? Man, the life is in the blood, man. We can't drink no blood. What are you talking about? You cook your food all the way through so that there's no blood in it. You go to a restaurant, them people sometimes get mad how you want this steak. Well done. Well, you want me to burn it then? Well, set it on fire. They get mad at you. Brother, I like to make juicy steaks. That's not juice, brother. That's blood. Totally different, bro. Totally different. It's not juice. Go ahead.
And I'll raise him up at the last day.
Once again, he keeps saying this last day thing. He keeps saying this last day. Then we have Revelation that tells us about 2 resurrections. Yet, Sunday morning, say they're going to do what they want to do. See, that's where we get what I think, feel, and believe from. See, we bring that concept with us when we finally escape from Sunday morning doctrine. But then we come and we still got, I think, I feel, I believe. Because that's what was taught to us. The book says, I'm going to raise you up on this day. But Pastor Sweet Talk said, you go to heaven right away.
Well, I like what Pastor Sweet Talk says, much better than the last day. That sounds like we're going to have to wait. What Sweet Talk says sounds good. Thank you, Reverend Sweet Talk.
Right. Go ahead.
For my flesh is meat indeed, and my blood is drink indeed. He that eats my flesh and drinks my blood dwells in me, and I in him.
I mean, he is going in. You can tell that he is trying to tick them off. He is going deeper and deeper. He doesn't just say this one time. He says it over and over and over again. Go ahead.
As the living Father has sent me, and I live by the Father, so he that eats me, even he shall live by me.
Man, he already said that. He already said it. But sometimes, some of us be daydreaming and stuff. We be, sometimes, man, we be teaching the class. You can tell, you got some people paying attention, other people, they They washing their car in the spirit. Sometimes they'll tell on themselves because they'll go through one of the motions. What the hell is that? What the hell you just did? Oh, I just cleaned the rim. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
This is that bread which came down from heaven, not as your fathers did eat manna and are dead. He that eats of this bread shall live forever. These things said he in the synagogue, as he taught in Capernaum. Many therefore of his disciples, when they had heard this, said, This is an hard saying. Who can hear it?
Right. Now, this is the point where the adversary, the devil, creeps in. See? Because now there's something that's hard to hear. This is when communication can be corrupt. This is when somebody comes in and offers something to kill these people off. Because now they shaky at this point because, hey, I don't understand this. Hey, none of them understood it. Nobody understood that. But this is where the devil comes and start whispering. Go ahead.
When Yahshua knew in himself that his disciples murmured at it, he said unto them, Does this offend you? What then if you shall see the Son of Man ascend up where he was before? It is the Spirit that quickens.
Then they don't understand that either. Okay? Your mama is over there. Your daddy, as far as we know, is over there. Your brothers and your sisters is over there. How you came down from heaven, bro? How you came down from heaven, bro? Bro, then you go to Jerusalem, why? Bro, how you came from heaven, bro? Were you on the Hebrew wrestling team? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you made a table in wood shop with me. But now, you came from heaven. They don't understand this. But believers sit still. They wait on their understanding. Go ahead.
The flesh profits nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life.
The words that I speak unto you are spirit. So then we have negative spirit that we can put out based upon the words that come out of our mouth. We have positive spirit that we can put out based on the words that come out of our mouth. Go ahead.
But there are some of you that believe not.
Uh-huh.
For Yahshua knew from the beginning who they were that believed not.
That's how you know he did it on purpose. He knew from the beginning who didn't believe. So as he keeps giving them the hard saying, then he starts poking at them. Does this offend you? He knew he just offended them. Does this offend you? Well, yes, it does. You can tell me to eat your flesh and drink your blood. I am offended. Go ahead.
And who should betray him? And he said, Therefore said I unto you, that no man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father.
Now pause. No man can come unto me except it were given unto him of my Father. Okay. He knows who it was that would betray him. But he didn't run him off. You know why? Somebody has to play this role of the betrayer. Okay? If he runs off the betrayer, you know somebody else got to fill that role, right? So you let the betrayer do what they were called to do. That means all these other people were called to serve in righteousness. The betrayer was called to betray. That was his job. That is what he was called for. Yahshua knew exactly who he was. But if he ran him off, somebody else, now, maybe a good brother, now has to fill that seat. And that's a problem. Go ahead.
From that time, many of his disciples went back and walked no more with him.
Right. And see, this is what people say.
You see that? He ain't real. His church done broke down. He just went from 70 to 12. Ain't nobody staying with him. That whole place finna cave in. Ain't nobody. Yahshua was fake. He's a fake prophet.
Go ahead.
brother, it's interesting. Like you said, he knew from the beginning who would betray him. And you got to think of the time they spent together. And when it was revealed that it was Yehudis, how those brothers really felt. Because you're talking about friendships that have developed here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so the conversation must have been, man, where were the signs? What was this? And as you replay, they probably realized that, damn, the signs was always there. You know, but that's the even thing that we have to get to the point of, relationships have to build, but when it's time to cut and part ways, hey, man,
Hey,
let it be what it is.
It's your salvation. What is worth your salvation? Ain't no friendship worth your salvation. And when it come down to it, Yahweh, your Elohim, will block you from seeing something that's right in front of your eyes. It'll be right there. He won't let you see it until it's time for you to see it. And you look up and say, man, have they been doing this all the time? It even confused you. Is it I? I'm the betrayer. Man, I felt like I was, but I ain't even know. Right. He don't even know. So how you gonna know if he don't even know? Yahweh block that. Least you jump in and stop what I'm trying to do. See? It's some spiritual growth that's got to happen from this betrayal. No, I need this to happen. So you can't run the betrayer off just yet. They got to finish their job. Go ahead.
John in chapter 6 and verse 67. Then said Yahshua unto the 12, will you also go away? Then Simeon Peter answered him.
So he pokes the ones who are left. And the betrayer is one of those, by the way. So the betrayer lasted through the first level of cuts. Now see, we think that means something. Hey, you see him? Hey, Yehuda still here, ain't it? Well, hey, that brother faithful right there, man. He didn't leave with the 70. Go ahead.
Adonai, to whom shall we go? You have the words of eternal life. And we believe and are sure that you are the anointed one, the son of the living Elohim.
We believe. We don't understand. They didn't say we understand everything that just came out your mouth. They said we believe. Your belief is your collateral. We believe. You know, and every time we understand exactly what you said about the bread and the blood. We here with you. They were just confused as other ones. So why didn't their confusion cast them off? See, that's the question we got to ask. Why didn't their confusion cast them off? It cast all these other people off. Matter of fact, it cast most of them off. Why didn't it do it to these people? Go ahead, bro.
Are they seeking something different?
You damn right they seeking something different. They got something else driving them than what they think, feel, and believe. See, when you being directed by what you think, feel, and believe, you start making reasons why it's okay not to do certain things that you find in Yahweh's word and to do other things that's not in his word. You've been driven by something else. Go ahead, brother. Did you finish that?
Yahshua answered them, have not I chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil?
And boy, ain't that some hell to say after we done been cut down? We had 72 people up in here. We done got cut down to 12, and then you tell us it's a devil left? And folk want to tell me, Sot can be kind of harsh. Have you read this book at all? Have you listened to the words of Yahshua? If I scare you, you are going to be frightened by him. If I scare you, you are going to have a problem. He has swords that are going to come out of his mouth. If I am frightening to you, you are going to have a serious problem when Yahshua shows up. Go ahead, brother.
He spake of Yehudis Iscariot, the son of Simeon, for he it was that should betray him, being one of the 12.
Being one of the 12, being of the closest. His betrayal comes from the closest of places. Let's go to Matthew chapter 13. If you're going to be a servant of Yahweh, it's some things that you're going to have to understand. Betrayal is one of them. How you going to be a servant of him, but you don't understand his plight? You don't understand what it is that he has gone through. It hurt us when we betrayed with a kiss.
Man, they kissed me and then it hurt me deep.
Right. Of course it did. Matthew chapter 13, and let's start that at verse 1. We're going to read verses 1 through 23.
The same day went Yahshua out of the house and sat by the seaside. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up, because they had no deepness of earth.
Right. Do we have deepness of earth? Go ahead.
And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away.
Right. A root is something that you don't see. The root is in the ground. So seeing what it is you see out presently that's physically before you appears to be one thing. But the root is where the real health of this situation is. You can't see the root. The root is buried. And if there's not enough room for the root to develop, it is going to stop the growth of that plant. Anybody who's planting, they start with a smaller cup. As it grows, they got to get a pot. Then they got to get a bigger pot. And then a bigger pot. Why? It has to have room for the roots to spread out. So if that root is confined, you see a tall fruit, a flower, it look like it's healthy. But if it's in that little cup, them roots ain't went nowhere. They are at the tip top of their growth. They're going to stop right there. But it appears that it's just like everything else in the beginning. But sooner or later, those roots going to fill up that cup. Go ahead.
And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, and some 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. Who has ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, Why speak you unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever has not, from him shall be taken away even that he has. Therefore spake I to them in parables, because they seeing see not, and hearing they hear not, neither do they understand.
Neither do they understand. So he knows that there is a situation where he can go on a whole nother level and leave them in a place of non-understanding. He knows that. But so does the adversary, the devil. Go ahead.
And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Esaias, which says, By hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them.
So they don't want to hear, because the hearing is going to bring forth change. See? The change is going to bring forth some things. It's going to bring forth good things, but they're going to have to change to hear. So they rather just not hear. Go ahead.
blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. Hear you therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom and understands it not, then comes the wicked one, and catches away that which was sown in his heart. This is he which receives seed by the wayside.
Now, don't think that the wicked one is gonna be the adversary, the devil coming to you like we gonna see him. Like he gonna show up, he gonna be red with a pitchfork and a tail.
Eliel, let me talk to you.
Who in the hell gonna talk to him? No. He's gonna appear unto you as a nice brother, just offering a different understanding. If you saw it was the adversary, you ain't gonna talk to him. If it was easy for us to just look and see if they got a tail, then you'd be talking, hey bro, I want to show you something. Hold on. Okay. If it was that easy, oh my God, I'm looking for the tail before we start talking. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, what's that in your that one pants leg look thicker than the other? Are you hiding that tail in there? Go ahead, bro.
But he that received the seed in stony places, the same is he that hears the word, and anon with joy receive it. Yet has he not root in himself.
He has root not in himself. So it is the root that's not in him that allows him to be deceived. So then we got to spread out, make sure that there's room enough for us and this, for this word to take root in us. Go ahead.
But dureth for a while. For when tribulation or persecution arise because of the word, by and by he's offended.
Right. And tribulation could just be that a person is being corrected about their action.
Mm-hmm.
All right, this is what you were doing. This is what you should have been doing.
You know what? I ain't gonna be able to do this. I didn't face this when I was at, Jumping for Jesus Baptist Church. They didn't never talk about me bad at Jumping for Jesus. They never corrected me at Jumping for Jesus. Ever since I've been here, all I hear is I need to do this and I need to do that. But they were so nice to me at Jumping for Jesus.
Right. They were standing by letting you die. They were standing by letting you die. And like Israel has done before, we accept the murderer and kill the just. Go ahead, bro.
Even in this conversation that he's had with them, it starts out with them saying, why speak you to them in parables? But he's not having to explain to them, so they didn't know either.
Hey.
They coming off, why are you speaking to them in parables? No, why are you speaking to us in parables?
Mm-hmm. But see, those that believe gonna stay long enough to get their understanding. See, that's what the difference is, though. Go ahead.
Verse 22. He also that receives seed among the thorns is he that hears the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful.
You have to ask yourself, what do you have around you that will choke the word out of you? You read the word, and you end up going among either some friends or some loved ones, and all of a sudden, that same word that was put in you is now choked out of you. What do you have in your circle that chokes the word out of you? See, if your eye offend you, if your eye is choking the word out of you, you need to get rid of that eye. If that's your left hand or right hand, man, you're going to have to cut that off. What chokes the word out of you? And because we hear words like choke, strangle, we say, this is a negative situation. That might be the nicest person you know. The person who's strangling the word out of you might be the person that smiles at you the most. Every time you turn around, they speak with sugary goodness. They call you and you just have to take an insulin shot. They're so sweet. How you doing, child?
My goodness, let me get this.
You gotta go ahead and take this. And it ain't nothing but sweet deception. Go ahead, bro.
But he that receives seed into the good ground is he that hears the word and understands it, which also beareth fruit and brings forth, some 100-fold, some 60, some 30.
All right, let's go to 2 Timothy chapter 4. Second Timothy chapter 4, and let's start that at verse 1.
Verse 1. I charge you therefore before Elohim and the Adonai Yahshua HaMashiach, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
Preach the word, be instant in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke. See, they didn't do that at Jumping for Jesus. See, you have to say some things that people don't like if you go reprove and rebuke. See, they just going to say all the nice things to make sure that you get in that tithing line. There was no reason to even separate tithers from everybody else. But they had a tithing line and an offering line. The tithers got a song in the place where I used to go. They was singing and everything when the door, here come my tithers. My tithers. Sing it, y'all. When the regular offering came by, the music just...
Mm-hmm. You just offering people. Y'all need to step your game up.
But they didn't reprove and rebuke. Because they know that when people feel good, they tip good. See, we treat the word of Elohim like a restaurant.
I had asked for napkins. She didn't bring me those napkins. I had asked for some extra sauce. She gave me a little sauce. She gave me a little drip there. That's what I'm going to do with a tip and give a little drip.
What?
Verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine. But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears.
Right. See, can't accept the sound doctrine because the other doctrine sound better. See, I like this other doctrine because I don't have to change nothing. I like the way this one sound over here. There's no changes that have to be made inside my heart, mind, and spirit. This the one I like. Go ahead.
They shall turn away their ears from the truth.
Uh-huh.
They shall be turned onto fables.
Now, so you have to ask, how do they find these teachers when they have those itching ears? They ears start itching. What's wrong? I just want to hear something new, something easier. Because this Sabbath thing and this holy days seem like some work. I'm going to have to change something. I normally hang out on Friday night. I like to have fun on Friday night. You understand what I'm saying to you? Fun. Right. Read, bro.
But watch you in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of your ministry. For I am now ready to be offered, and the time of my departure is at hand. I have fought a good fight, I have finished my course, I have kept the faith. Henceforth there is laid up for me a crown of righteousness, which the Adonai, the righteous judge, shall give me at that day, and not to me only, but unto all them also that love his appearing.
Once again, he's talking about at that day, at his appearing, I'm going to get these things. He didn't say, I'm going to die, and when I die, I am going to heaven zip time. They ain't gonna even be able to put the dirt on me. When they put the dirt on me, the dirt just gonna move out the way, and I'm flying right up. I can't wait. That ain't what he said. That ain't what he said. Go ahead.
Do your diligence to come shortly unto me. For Demas has forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica. Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia. Only Luke is with me. Take Mark and bring him with you, for he is profitable to me for the ministry. And Tychicus have I sent to Ephesus. The cloak that I left at Troas with Carpus, when you cometh, bring with you, and the books, but especially the parchments. Alexander the coppersmith did me much evil. The Adonai reward him according to his works. Of whom be you ware also, for he has greatly withstood our words. At my first answer, no man stood with me, but all men forsook me. I pray Elohim that it may not be laid to their charge. Notwithstanding, the Adonai stood with me and strengthened me, that by me the preaching might be fully known, and that all the Gentiles might hear, and I was delivered out of the mouth of the lion. And the Adonai shall deliver me from every evil work, and I'll preserve me unto his heavenly kingdom, to whom be glory forever and ever. Amen.
All right. Did you finish that?
Where are we supposed to go? 18?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 4. Let me, do I need to check that while you check your mic?
It's still
there.
on.
Ephesians chapter 4. You let me know once you get ready there.
Ephesians chapter 4.
And we're gonna
Ephesians
read
chapter
verses
4, verse 1.
Yeah, through 32.
I therefore, the prisoner of the Adonai, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling, one Adonai, one faith, one baptism, one Elohim and Father of all, who is above all, and through all, and in you all. But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of the Mashiach. Wherefore he says, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descend first into the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers.
Right, so everybody wasn't given the same gift. But what you find is everybody want to do what somebody else does. Deal with the thing that was given unto you. Go ahead.
For the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Yahshua, till we all come into the unity of the faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahshua, that we might henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive.
Right. So some people pass on the doctrine that they got from somebody else, not knowing that that doctrine was created to deceive. And then they pass on the doctrine, and then they become part deceivers because they have spread the deceitful doctrine. That wasn't even their intent. But as my elder used to say, the lake of fire, the road to the lake of fire is paved with good intentions. Go ahead.
but speaking the truth in love, may grow up in him in all things, which is the head, even Yahshua, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love.
Right. So each part of the body has to do its job. You can't come and magnify yourself against another part of the body because to you, your job is more important than anybody else's job. Now, if your job affects somebody else's job, you can't just get to that point, well, I'm going to do mine and I don't care what it does to somebody else's. That's a problem because each part of the body works together. You have a problem in your foot, you start walking around that because you're not trying to put weight on that part that hurts on your foot. What happens? Eventually your calf start hurting because it had to overdo and overwork because the foot wouldn't firmly plant itself against the ground because of the schism that was in it. So the schism that's in one part transfers its schism to another part. So you can't say, well, this is an independent part here and I'm going to do this and I ain't doing nothing else. We all hear how wonderful the choir sound, right? Brother Kish started coming down here early, checking all those mics, doing all of those things to get all of that. That ain't his department. What if he said, ain't got nothing to do with me? That made the sound start getting better. But this is some things that we did years back. He remember all the things about working in the studio. What if he just said, that ain't got nothing to do with me? That's the foot. I'm the arm. And what if we start poisoning the other parts? Here it is. You got a auxiliary that's doing one thing, and then you got people speaking against all of the things that are supposed to be happening. You hurting that part of the body. And that's going to flow to another part of the body eventually. A pain that is allowed to be in one place is going to affect another place sooner or later. Go ahead.
Verse 17. This I say, therefore, and testify in the Adonai, that you henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But you have not so learnt, Yahshua, if so be that you have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahshua, that you put off concerning the former conversation the old man.
This is who we have to fight daily. You come in, you receive a baptism, you get born again, you begin your walk. You are trying to become a new creature, and here come that old dude. That old dude let you know you ain't drown me in that water. I just want to let you know I'm still here. Hello. Where we going? You have to fight that old dude daily. So if you think you got in that water and when you got out, there was an old dude just sitting in there floating, you got another thing coming. That old dude got out the water just with you. Shabbat shalom. Go ahead.
Which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust.
Do you know that though? Or do you want to act like that old dude ain't nothing really wrong with him? You know, he all right, you know. The old dude kind of cool. Go ahead.
And be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Are you able to be renewed in the spirit of your mind? If you are able to be renewed in the spirit of your mind, that means you allow Yahweh to cause you to see things differently than you did before. But if you see everything the same way you saw it before, There's a problem. As he's trying to grow the new man, you keep letting your old man choke out the new man. And the old man, he automatically, he gonna fight. See, look here, I've been with you since day one. All right? I don't know who this new dude is. Who that dude don't want to smoke all day? This is what we do. We smoke all day. I mean all day. I mean morning, noon, night. That's what we do. Matter of fact, we don't do nothing else. This dude keep trying to do something else. Now he want to do something in between the smoking. The new dude is trying to add some things into that. The old dude said, let's just stay where we at. The new dude wants to add some things onto that. It don't mean you got to cut everything else off. He wants to add some things into it. He wants to work the things of Yahweh into that. The old dude said, no, we don't need to do this. We need to keep this. Look, I like us the way we are. And you're going to have to fight. Your biggest fight is here. You got to fight that old dude. And all of us got that old dude. Go ahead.
Verse 24. And that you put on the new man, which after Elohim is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be you angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your anger.
We get angry and all kind of words will come out. Say exactly what we feel at that moment. And ain't no taking it back. Everybody done heard the words that came out. Go ahead.
Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more.
Neither give place to the devil. That's what we did. You get angry and you give him control of your mouth.
Here, devil, speak for me. Tell them what I think.
Oh, he can't wait. Thank you for giving me your mouth. I'll take care of this from here on out. You just sit down. I got this. Yeah, they ain't gonna want to talk to you no more when I'm done. Go ahead.
Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needs. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers.
If it's not edifying, then it's corrupt communication. I don't care how well it is in its articulation. I don't care how it appears. If it's not edifying, it's corrupt communication. If it leads somebody to question the word or question the direction that Yahweh is leading them, it is corrupt communication. See, we think corrupt communication is always going to be these bunch of mean people. You may get corrupt communication from the nicest people you have ever seen in your life. And what they was offering you was corrupt. But they were just a smiling.
No, you're not going to surely die. Come on. Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you're sealed unto the day of redemption.
Right. When the Holy Spirit is leading us in one way and then we allow somebody else to change that direction, the Holy Spirit has been grieved. Didn't I just tell them which way to go? Well, who came and gave them some other directions? Go ahead.
Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice.
Right. See, so that old dude wants to deal with things one way. Yahweh and Yahshua is trying to let the new man direct how we're going to deal with things. And because we don't really want the old man to die off, we won't really approach unto Elohim about it. See? We won't enter into prayer about that, because that's going to be, we're going to have to admit that we got an issue. Go ahead.
And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for Yahshua's sake has forgiven you.
All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 12. See, at the end of the day, when it is a time for us to see if our names are still written in the Lamb's Book of Life, he's not going to give us a test of Israelite history. We won't have an Israelite history test to be admitted into the kingdom. The test is going to be testing the heart of that individual. And it ain't no buddy system test. I know people say, you know, I'm married. The test ain't a buddy system test. Now, the test is intricate enough though, that if a person walks, a person has the opportunity to save their spouse. But not if you agree with them when they're wrong. You ain't never gonna save anybody agreeing with them when they're wrong. Matthew chapter 12, let's start at verse 22.
Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed and said, Is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, This fellow does not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. And Yahshua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
So this is what people think. They say, I'm not going to divide my house by disagreeing with my wrong spouse. You just divided your house even more by agreeing with the incorrect spouse. Dealing with that according to Yahshua is how a house is built on a sure foundation. Go ahead.
And if Satan casts out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? And if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of Elohim, then the kingdom of Elohim is come unto you. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house?
Right. See, some of us bind ourselves. You walk in the house, you see the strong man, he tied up in the corner. Who tied you up? Well, I did. You tied yourself up? Go ahead, bro.
He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathers not with me scatters abroad. Wherefore I say unto you, all manner of sin and blasphemy shall be forgiven unto men, but the blasphemy against the Holy Spirit shall not be forgiven unto men. And whosoever speaks a word against the Son of Man, it shall be forgiven him. But whosoever speaks against the Holy Spirit, it shall not be forgiven him, neither in this world, neither in the world to come. Either make the tree good, and his fruit good, or else make the tree corrupt, and his fruit corrupt. For the tree is known by his fruit.
The tree is known by its fruit. And sometimes people don't understand what manner of tree they are. They offering out peaches, but you find out, you a pear tree. You can't give me peaches unless you bought them from somewhere else, because you don't grow peaches. That's not the kind of tree you are. Go ahead.
O generation of vipers, how can you, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. The things that came forth out of the mouth are the things that was in the heart. See, people like to go and drink their strong drink, and then they go to talking. And then they blame it on the,
Yeah, that was not me. That was the alcohol.
no, the alcohol made you calm enough to say what was really in your heart. Alcohol didn't put that in your heart. It was already in there. Alcohol caused you not to be able to hold it. So you was able to hide that when you're in your right mind. You get to drinking that alcohol.
I can't stand Eli. I'm sorry, that was alcohol. I'm sorry.
No. The alcohol made that wall come down. Go ahead.
A good man out of the good treasure of the heart brings forth good things, and an evil man out of the evil treasure brings forth evil things. But I say unto you, that every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account thereof in the day of judgment.
Right. Do we even consider that? That Yahweh gonna bring back every last word we're gonna have a given account for. All right, now let's talk about this right here. See, this is what you said right here. Let's deal with that. Go ahead.
For by your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned.
All right, let's go to Psalms chapter 52.
Psalm 52 and verse 1. Why boast you yourself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of Elohim endures continually. Your tongue devised mischiefs, like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. You loveth evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness. You loveth all devouring words, O you deceitful tongue. Elohim shall likewise destroy you forever. He shall take you away, and pluck you out of your dwelling place, and root you out of the land of the living. The righteous also shall see, and fear, and shall laugh at him.
So some things have to take place so that those who are really going to follow get an example of what not to do. See? So you can try to stop it all you want. It's not gonna stop. You can look back and say, man, how did I fall victim to this? Because Yahweh wanted you to, so that you would learn. That means it was situations that happened for you to be made better. But other people weren't going to be made better from it. It only made you better. Didn't make them better. Go ahead.
Lo, this is the man that made not Elohim his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of Elohim. I trust in the mercy of Elohim forever and ever. I will praise you forever, because you have done it. I will wait on your name, for it is good before your saints.
It is good before your saints. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 9. Yahweh will uphold his holy and righteous name. And anything that is done to cause that to not look that way, Yahweh gonna deal with it. And understand, we as a people, understanding that we are the children of Israel, when we get off into what we want to get off into, we cause his holy name to not be as holy as it is. He says unto the children of Israel, you blaspheme my holy name, when the people said, these are the children of Israel. That's all you got to do to blaspheme. See, we think that we said something and we said something against Yahweh out of our mouth. That's how we blaspheme. Sometimes you got to do is show up and go somewhere. Hey, look at that.
Yeah, they supposed to be servants of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm. Right. Now his name blaspheme. Jeremiah chapter 9, let's start at verse 1.
Oh, that my head were waters, and mine eyes a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night for the slain of the daughter of my people. Oh, that I had in the wilderness a lodging place of wayfaring men, that I might leave my people and go from them, for they be all adulterers, an assembly of treacherous men. And they bend their tongues like their bow for lies, but they are not valiant for the truth upon the earth. For they proceed from evil to evil, and they know not me, says Yahweh.
Right. See, while we're going through our whole Israelite pep rallies, you don't have to deal with any of this stuff. See, Yahweh is trying to deal with the heart of man. Man is still marching around singing, talking about who he is. Go ahead.
Take you heed, every one of his neighbor, and trust you not in any brother. For every brother will utterly supplant, and every neighbor will walk with slanders.
Mm-hmm.
And they will deceive everyone his neighbor, and will not speak the truth.
He talking about Israel. He ain't talking about some strange nation. That's us he talking about. Go ahead.
They have taught their tongue to speak lies, and wearied themselves to commit lawlessness. Your habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, says Yahweh. Therefore, thus says Yahweh of hosts, behold, I will melt them and try them, for how shall I do for the daughter of my people? Their tongue is as an arrow shot out. It speaks deceit. One speaks peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in heart he layeth his weight.
Shalom.
I can't stand her.
Right. Go ahead, bro.
Shall I not visit them for these things, says Yahweh? Shall not my soul be avenged on such a nation as this? For the mountains will I take up a weeping and wailing, and for the habitations of the wilderness a lamentation, because they are burnt up, so that none can pass through them, neither can men hear the voice of the cattle. Both the fowl of the heavens and the beast are fled, they are gone. And I will make Jerusalem heaps and a den of dragons, and I'll make the cities of Yehuda desolate, without an inhabitant. Who is the wise man that may understand this?
See, when you talk about other people getting our land, these are problems that we cause. See, the land required for us to walk a certain way in it. We decided that we were not going to do it. So as Yahweh keep removing us from the land, what you think happened? People keep seeing empty land and empty houses, they move in it. Leave your car on the street and leave the keys in it. Come back next week. Go ahead, you bad. Go and do it. Go ahead.
Who is the wise man that may understand this? And who is he to whom the mouth of Yahweh has spoken, that he may declare it? For what the land perisheth and is burnt up like a wilderness, that none pass through. And Yahweh says, because they have forsaken my law which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, neither walked therein, but have walked after the imagination of their own heart.
Right, and that imagination of our heart will tell us anything. Oh, it'll tell us this person got a problem with us. It'll tell us that person has a problem with us. It'll tell us all of these things. Boy, that heart can go all over the place. And if we let it drive the show, we're going to end up way away from Yahweh. Go ahead.
And after Baalim, which their fathers taught them. Therefore thus says Yahweh of hosts, the El of Israel, behold, I will feed them, even this people, with wormwood, and give them water of gall to drink. I will scatter them also among the heathen, whom neither they nor their fathers have known. And I will send a sword after them, till I have consumed them.
Right. Yahweh said he's going to scatter us among heathens whom we have not known. So when people say that all of Israel came out of one country, there's a problem. Yahweh says scatter. Scatter does not equal one country. Go ahead.
You know, when you look at verse 15, for those who don't understand that great doctor that Yahweh is, the wormwood and that gall is to purge the parasites out of you.
Brother, when he gave them the bitter water in the wilderness, you have to ask yourself, was he trying to purge out of them all the crap they had done ate in Egypt? And we start comparing.
This water bitter. It is bitter, it's bitter, it's bitter.
Here it is, Yahweh getting us herb, trying to clean us out. He like, man, take the tree over there, man, and stick the branch in it, man, so that water be sweet. Man, I'm trying to cleanse these people. They've been eating all kind of devil meat over here. But when we don't understand, what we do is continually fight against Yahweh. Continually fight against Yahweh. Man, when we was little, your grandmama used to, she didn't even give you no warning.
Come here.
Ma'am. What was that? And grab your mouth and hold your head up. You spitting.
She was like, that's why I got a lot of it, because I knew you was going to spit some of it. You know what I'm saying? I knew some of it wasn't going to get in there.
She asked you that? Just put all kind of bitter stuff in your mouth. But I tell you what, we wasn't at the doctor every week, and we didn't have all these fancy ailments that we can't name today.
They give you something, yeah, you have muscleitis.
What? What? How did I get muscleitis? We didn't even know what that was. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 17. Thus says the Yahweh of hosts, consider you, and call for the mourning women, that they may come, and send for cunning women, that they may come. And let them make haste, and take up a wailing for us, that our eyes may run down with tears, and our eyelids gush out with waters. For a voice of wailing is heard out of Zion. How are we spoiled? We are greatly confounded, because we have forsaken the land, because our dwellings have cast us out. Yet hear the word of Yahweh, O you women, and let your ear receive the word of his mouth, and teach your daughters wailing, and every one her neighbor lamentation. For death is come up into our windows, and is entered into our palaces, to cut off the children from without, and the young men from the streets. Speak, thus says Yahweh, even the carcasses of men shall fall as dung upon the open field, and as the handful after the harvestman, and none shall gather them.
Right. These are the things that Yahweh is bringing upon us because we refuse to listen to his law. If we understand that, then anyway, this is why it says in the law, if anybody try to convince you to go and worship another God or try to deal with something outside of what Yahweh's words say, you're supposed to deal with that. See, if we dealt with things accordingly, they would stop offering us that false doctrine. When somebody come up and offer you some false doctrine, all right, let's get in this book, let's talk about it. All right, this is what it is. We have decided this is not something I'm gonna deal with. Bring it around here one more again. I'm gonna lay hands on you. They ain't coming back no more. When you sound like you are susceptible to what JWs bring to your door, when them Jehovah's Witnesses come, they come back. Wow, one of them out. I mean, you tear JW up from the top of the street to the back. Other JWs won't even come to your house. It'd be a whole group. They'd be like, They put you on a database. When you tear them up, that'd be a whole nother group. It won't even be that group. They all know.
Oh, don't go to 5418. No, don't go there.
You'll watch them and they go to everybody's house. And you look, and you be sitting there like, come on, JW, we about to dance. You already playing your dance music. Yeah. And you watch them walk right by your house. JW, I thought we were gonna dance. No, you on the do not dance with list. How you get on that list? Because they know you ain't gonna put up with that mess. You got to do Jake the same way. Jake come with that mess, you let him know you're not playing that game. He's not going to keep coming to you. He going to put somebody else on that dance list.
No, don't put Kish on the list. Don't put him on the list. He going to come in here and ruin our whole party. He gonna stop the music and everything.
Go ahead.
You ever seen the hedge of protection? You ever seen him come down your sidewalk and cross right before
Get on the
your
other
eyes?
side of the street.
It's like there's a force field around your house.
Yes, I have. They didn't even want to walk by my mailbox. Apparently, the mailbox knew the word. I don't. And the mailbox was just gonna open. You think you worship the devil? You know, I don't. I don't know what that was, but yes, sir, I have. Go ahead.
Verse 23. Thus says Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glory in this, that he understands and knows me, that I am Yahweh, which exercise loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things I delight, says Yahweh. Behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will punish all them which are circumcised with the uncircumcised. Egypt and Yehuda and Edom and the children of Ammon and Moab and all that are in the utmost corners that dwell in the wilderness. For all these nations are uncircumcised, and all the house of Israel are uncircumcised in the heart.
Imagine that. The children of Israel have decided to be uncircumcised in heart. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 19. And we're going to get a couple verses out of here. Deuteronomy chapter 19, and let's read verses 15 through 21.
Verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any lawlessness or for any sin, in any sin that he sins. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established.
Right. But we also know that sometimes, people who operate in slickness. So they pull people off one at a time to give them the stories that they tell. So you may look at a situation and say, well, I only had 1 witness. All you got to do is wait. Because if that is the manner on which how they operate, that same thing is going to be presented to somebody else. And you're going to get you another witness. It's going to be a different situation, but it's going to be operating in the same way. Go ahead.
If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men, between whom the controversy is, shall stand before Yahweh, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. And, behold, if the witness be a false witness, and has testified falsely against his brother.
Now, the judges shall make diligent inquisition. So if you are at your house, there's a situation that happened. Let's say it's just between your wife and another sister. When a brother said, I'm going to go home and talk to my wife, is that diligent inquisition? That's the only person you talk to? Did you talk to the other person? Then, let's say you can't resolve that between those 2 individuals. 3 months later, another situation happened between your wife and another sister. When you then start asking those questions, you see, okay, did the same type of thing happen with the other person? Now you got you another witness. Now you got to ask yourself, is everybody lying on my wife? See, diligent inquisition, you can't just go to that individual. And sometimes there's not another individual present at that point. So you got to wait. Go ahead.
Then shall you do unto him as he had thought to have done unto his brother. So shall you put evil away from among you. And those which remain shall hear and fear, and shall henceforth commit no more any such evil among you. And your eye shall not pity.
Your eye shall not pity. This is where we had a problem here. This is where the problem come up, because we don't want to offer righteous judgment depending on how close the individual is to us. See, it's hard for us to deal with this thing close when it's our sugar bug. See, Sugar Booker did do something wrong.
Well, baby, I don't want to cut off my sugar factory. So I'm gonna be careful how I'm gonna deal with this.
You keep it up and Yahweh gonna cut off your sweet tooth. You ain't gonna even be able to taste the sugar. Go ahead, bro.
But you see, once you develop a pattern and they know that, you know what, he crazy enough that he gonna call all parties involved, let me just come clean.
Right. But if they know you ain't gonna do nothing, hey, we watch some individuals that will come and lie to the same people in the room, and they was hoping we wasn't gonna do what? That we wasn't gonna talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the brother lie to Kish, then the brother go over to Eliel, tell him a different story, come to me, tell me a different story, hoping that we wasn't gonna talk. But the boldness, we all in the same room. I said, you know what? We're not doing this individual no favors. We got to start busting it out where it's at. So before the person even finished, me and Kish said, you know what? That sounds interesting. But you know, Sock told me a different version of that story that you told him. Let's get him over here. Oh, wait a minute. Where? Hold up. No. Let's go get Sock right now. Cause he just told me a different version than what you're telling me now. So let's get all parties involved together. Wait a minute, don't be so rash. That's how you take care of that business. And then that stops right there. One thing. Now, they may not stop doing it, but they're going to stop doing it to you. Go ahead.
And your eye shall not pity, but life shall go for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot.
All right, let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Let's go to Genesis chapter 39. Now, Yahweh brought Yosef through a lot of things. Yosef has this gift. He has this gift of being able to interpret dreams, but his gift does not do him any good where he is. And his father loves him so much, he's not going to allow him to go somewhere else. So something has to come, something has to be presented to make Yosef go to another place. And it is the jealousy of the brothers that is used to do this. But he finds himself in servitude, being sold into slavery, and then he has to work at a man's house. And we're going to start right there. Go ahead.
And Yosef was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither.
Mm-hmm.
And Yahweh was with Yosef, and he was a prosperous man.
He was with him, and he was prosperous, even though he's a captive and now a servant of somebody else's house. Yahweh's still with him. See, when we go through things, it becomes customary for us to believe Yahweh must not be with us because we're going through something. Go ahead.
And he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that Yahweh was with him, and that Yahweh made all that he did to prosper in his hand.
Now, this is the man who over him realized, now that's a different spirit on this dude. Stuff just seemed to work out for him. Go ahead.
And Yosef found grace in his sight. And he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put in his hand.
So he recognized that there's something really good about this individual. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, from the time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that Yahweh blessed the Egyptian's house for Yosef's sake. And the blessing of Yahweh was upon all that he had in the house and in the field.
Right. So now the Egyptian is getting blessed, not because of the Egyptian. The Egyptian is getting blessed because of the Israelite that he has in his house. But you can't tell the Egyptian that. So sometimes they get selective amnesia. Once they start getting stuff, they want to forget how they got it. But he knew that this was a special individual. He realizes this is why he puts him over all the stuff of his house. Because he realizes that there's something special about this man. Go ahead.
And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand. And he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat.
So you know that's something, that he trusts the man so much he don't even count his money. He don't even know how much he got. Now that's something we don't normally do until we dealing with our sugar booger. Them the only individuals that get to have that kind of leeway in the house. Where you got to ask, hey, do I have enough money for this thing right here? You just got paid. Yeah, you got enough money for it. Okay, I ain't even looked at that account yet. That's sugar booger land right there. He in sugar booger land. You understand? He don't even know what all he got. That's how much he trusts this man. Go ahead.
And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph.
So he had all this power, but he was also a good-looking individual. Uh-oh. Go ahead.
And she said, lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, behold, my master knoweth not what is with me in the house, and he has committed all that he has to my hand. There's none greater in this house than I.
Right. Now, I'm a servant. There's none greater in this house than me. Go ahead.
Yeah, that also, like you said, he in Sugar Booger Land.
He in Sugar Booger Land. You understand?
You know he got his money. I don't even know what his money is. And then you up in here, you a slave. How you get to know what the money is?
Go ahead.
Neither has he kept back anything from me but you, because you art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Elohim? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her or to be with her.
Right. So this thing is increasing day by day. She wanted more and more. I got to have this. Come on, just sit by me. You see that right there? It said, and it came to pass, she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her, to lie by her or be with her. Well, just come sit down. We ain't gonna do nothing. You want to play a game of Uno? You know.
And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within.
Uh-oh, perfect situation now. Go ahead.
And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out.
Now, y'all done been in a situation where you fighting over a piece of, if she grabbing onto his clothes and he trying to get off, the easiest way is to come out of it, because at this point, they got your clothes in their hand. But now, this is something she gonna use to make him look guilty. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, see, he has brought in a Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice.
Stop. The first thing about deception is call other people in and get them to be a part of your deception. So now you have innocent people. You see, he came in to mock us. What are you talking about? Hell, he ain't doing nothing to me. He came to mock us.
Yeah, he brought that Hebrew in here to mock us. This is about him disrespecting us. Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. The only person had a problem with him is you. The husband don't even have a problem yet. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out.
She's a slick one, ain't she? Oh, slimy like an eel. Go ahead.
And she laid up his garment by her until his master came home.
Mm-hmm.
And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant, which you have brought unto us, came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out.
Now you see the twisting of that story. See, a lie has some elements of truth in it, but it takes diligent inquisition to find out which parts of that story is actually true. Now he's looking at evidence. That is his garment. What is garment doing in the bed with you? Oh, no, he did not. Now, he hadn't made any diligent inquisition. He just believed sugar booger. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did your servant to me, that his anger was kindled.
His anger is kindled. He wasn't there. But he takes her word for gospel. Go ahead.
I mean, here's the first thing. You cried out, okay, let's get all the servants in here. Did
Right.
any of y'all hear her cry out? She even told them she cried out.
Yeah.
One of them, she said, well, I ain't hear you.
Exactly. She told them she cried. But she had to go call them. Now why she had to go call them if she cried? Go ahead.
And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison.
So simple as that.
If Sugar Booger said it, then it must be true.
She done set this man up. Go ahead.
A place where the king's prisoners were bound. And he was there in the prison.
So now he in prison because he would not sleep with a married woman. Go ahead.
And, you know, in the same situation as he gained because Joseph was in there. I wonder what he started saying as he started to have loss within his house.
Exactly. And sooner or later, he gonna realize that Sugar Booger is deceptive. And it's gonna be a sad day when he realizes that his whole house has fallen because he trusted in Sugar Booger. It is going to be a sad day when he realizes that he was set up because of what she wanted and could not have. Because see, he had the place that Sugar Booger wanted. He know where all the money is. He know where everything is in the house. She don't even have that. He don't even know how much money he got. See, that caused Sugar Booger some problem. When Sugar Booger said, hey, look, I want to get such and such. Well, let me ask yourself to see if we got enough money. What?
We got to get rid of him.
Go ahead.
But Yahweh was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison.
So as he gave him favor in one bad situation, Yahweh doesn't stop you from going through bad situations, but he gives you favor in those bad situations. Yahweh didn't stop each one of these things, but he was with him in every last one of them. Go ahead.
And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison.
The same thing that happened when he was in the man's house. So the favor followed him. And as Brother Kish was saying, now what happens at his house after he has jailed an innocent man? At some point, he realizes that this Sugar Booger is really saccharine. It's not real sugar. At some point, he was like, you know what, this sweet and low. You know, he got that aftertaste. Go ahead, bro.
And whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand.
The same way that it was being done in the house, that favor has now followed him to prison. Go ahead.
Because Yahweh was with him, and that which he did, Yahweh made it to prosper.
Yahweh made it to prosper. And because of this situation, he is now going to come into the eyes of Pharaoh himself because of his ability. And now he becomes second in command of the entire nation. Now, consider something. He is now over the same people who put him in prison. Ooh. Now, what that look like? As this man has to go and meet eye to eye with a man that he threw in jail. And you know, at this point, after time goes on, you realize what Sweet and Low did to you. You realize that Sweet and Low set you up. Sweet was real low. Do you go back and repent for that? What do you do? Let every man be convinced in his own heart. That's all that we're going to do for today. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.